Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 premium SPG that we know and love as Fifi La Pew Pew, because she's French and she pews at the enemy a lot, and you might know it as a leFhy or a leaf blower. This one is on the south spawn of Prokhorovka under the command of Mike 1963_1. Game on! 2 marks of excellence on the barrel and some other marks which actually show he's played it a lot and got huge numbers of awards as well. Yes, I think they're actually on both sides of his vehicle. Yes, and on the rear as well. Anyway, he's got a 105mm light field howitzer capable of doing 410 alpha with HE and 53mm of pen, with a standard reload of 8.92 seconds, but we can see that Mike's got it down to 7.31. Styling in on the centre line to start with, waiting for an enemy sighting. I think the T1 Heavy might spot somebody for him. If it's not him, it might be the T67 on the west side who might see somebody. He's having just a general look around. It's always a good idea to sight your aim in on a specific spot where you think the enemy is going to appear straight off, because that means you're fully dialed in, you're ready to go, and that way you can instantly get a quick shot out. He's letting it settle first before he fires, so he wants to get an accurate shot. Rounds out, looks good. Just lands to the side of the Type T34. Now with the HE rounds, he's got a 2-meter burst radius, so he can still damage enemy tanks even if he gets it close to them. That one actually hit the Type T34, and he managed to get 61 hit points. I think it hit the tracks, that's why it didn't do so much, but he's lined it up, rounds out, looks good. And another hit, this time it was much more, 199. So it really discourages these enemy players if they've got these artillery rounds landing around them. It can really put them off their game, and that gives our teammates a chance to get some damage. That one hit the tracks, or near the tracks. Rounds out, just misses the Panzer, pulls away. It was a Panzer von Fear. Now the Panzer von Fear is a premium medium. Quite a powerful one as well, because of course it has the gun from the Panzer Fear Ausführung H, the 75mm, but it actually has a hull from a Panther, so it's a little more mobile and it's got a wicked fire rate. Rounds out. Oh, we got him in the rear. Yes, he smacked him in the, well, I was going to say smack him in the bum, but some people might think that a bum is something slightly different. Oh, he's got a kill. A blind kill. He fired the next round in and it definitely hit the leopard and took him out. Yes, there are slight differences in the terminology. In the UK, patting somebody on the bum is your derriere. It's your what's the Americanism for it? Patting yourself on the rear. I don't know, I can't remember it right now, but it'll come back to me. But certainly in the UK, oh, he's got another kill, and it's the von Fear. Yes, I think in America you call it your fanny, don't you? But in Britain, a fanny is something completely different. It's the front bottom for a lady. Okay, less that I say about that, the more that we talk about the game. Yes, Mike is an American, you see. That's why I brought that up, because if I got the terminology wrong, he might think, what is he saying? That was a long-range shot, but he put it near to where the BT-7 was last seen. He's adjusting his fire. Is he going to fire it? I think he's waiting for that BT-7 to come spotted again. We have got guys up near the centre line. In all that action, Mike managed to get 2 kills, but the enemy is ahead by 1. Now he's going to size up this OI experimental. Rounds out, goes over the top of him and lands a little long. Now he has got some premium rounds, so he might decide to fire those, because an OI experimental would not stand up well to the premium rounds. They do 350 alpha, and they will penetrate through much more armor than the HE rounds do. He's still loading the HE. Got a hit there. He's side on. This is a perfect example of where you should use the HE, but should use the armor piercing rather. But the OI has been killed, so he doesn't need to worry about that now. The kill shot went to the M10 RBFM, which just goes to show how dangerous those tanks are. Okay, B1 spotted. Now this is the tank version of the very tank that has the 105mm gun mounted on top. The Germans captured a huge number of these Char B1s, and they converted quite a lot of them to fire flamethrower tanks. Of course, it was perfect for that in a sense, because it had a huge chamber inside where the crew and the ammo would be. With a firefighting tank, you only really need a commander, a gunner, and a driver, and that's about it. Okay, he's going for the M8A1. Rounds out, looks good. Oh, direct hit. Somebody took that shell. He's firing another one in just in case the guy's tracked. Didn't get the kill. Now we've got a B1 side onto us, so we should be able to pen it. Fires the round in ahead of its track. We're going for the T67. He's got very thin armor, so if you let this round strike, it could damage this guy, kill him. Oh, he snapped that one in. He adjusted his aim just as he fired, and it didn't go near the target. He fired another one blind and then moved the aim away. I think that might have been accidental though. There's the M8A1 he hit earlier, and he's now down to just a quarter of his health. Circling him at the moment, trying to work out where he's going. Rounds out, long shot. Kill shot! So he's now got 3 kills. The enemy team's still leading this game. There's 7 of them out there. Okay, there's another M8A1 over on this side. They've got very thin armor, so they make very nice explosions when they go up. Oh, that was so close. Rounds out. Oh, no, missed. Kill shot for that one went to the M10 RBFM again. He must be up on top of the hill, looking down on these guys, finding it fairly easy to pick them off. Okay, got to set B1 again. Lining the shot up. Ahead of its track. Rounds out. This should hit. Hit. Gonna give it another go. Rounds out again. Another hit. Tracked him this time. Okay, now he's tracked him. He can just keep piling those shells in until he expires. One more. And yes, he's got the kill shot. In fact, he fixed the tracks because he moved from the spot where he was when we last saw him. Okay, the M8A1 has sadly come up to the center line. And, oh, that was a bit of a snapshot, but it did hit the target, funnily enough. But he's down to 15 rounds of ammunition and 5 of each. So he is running short. Now, when that OI experimental comes into view, there is an OI out there somewhere. He ought to fire the armor piercing at that guy, because those are the ones that are really going to make a difference. And we found him. Now he's going down into the river. Or is he? No, he changed his mind. Rounds out. And he got a direct hit. He's going to give him another try. Because he's short on ammo, he's being careful now. And this is, I agree with this. It's exactly the sort of thing you should do. Try and conserve your ammunition. Stug 3 Ausführung B, Tier 4, over on the other side of the map. He's taking a lot of fire. We've still got the HE loaded. Rounds out. Oh, he takes a kill shot. The T1 Heavy got him. Okay, the OI Experimental went across the water, and it looks like he's painted a mouth on his front. Rounds out. And it is a hit. Doesn't kill the OI Experimental, but he's trying to line up another shot. That one did hit the front and actually did 74 hit points, sorry. Now, I think about using the heat rounds. He is using the heat rounds because he has to. Heat rounds will have a much better chance of penetrating the armor. There's only 2 enemies left. They're Fifi and the OI Experimental. But there's only 4 left on our team now, so they're outnumbered 2-1. They also have a Fifi, and he's got 3 kills, so he's almost as good as Mike, because Mike's got 4. And our M10, well, he has 4 kills as well, but he's moved down from the hill, and he's now come down into the field area. Now, my first instinct would be to say to the team, go cap. Force these guys to go where we want them to go, and then Mike can get into a position so he can put the shells into the sides of the guy. If you went to the cap area, he'd have to head back to his cap, and that would send him to the railway crossing, and that would make it an easy kill for Mike, because he'd have to go up the slope at the sides of the railway, the embankment, and as he did that, then Mike could get those shots that would make the game certain. We don't know where the enemy Fifi is, but I suspect that the enemy Fifi is either by the railway line or he's over on the west side of the map. I don't think he'd go to the east side, so we're not seeing that many tanks, many Arty go over to the east side nowadays. Well, they're headed for the cap, so they're doing the right thing. The T1 Heavy ought to go as well. Unfortunately, he's a bot, and that's why he didn't go. He's sitting there, waiting for sight of the enemy. Mike's doing the right thing. He's moving up, getting ready. Once he gets to the centre line, he can just hold his position and dial in on the crossing. If the enemy appears all of a sudden... Oh, and he's appeared now, so you need to fire now. He's doing it. Okay, just as he's crossing. Unfortunately, he did get a kill on our T67, but legs up, rounds out. Oh, it didn't hit it. Landed short. Now he needs to get this right. Fires one in. It went in, but it says, oh, not hit. Now we've lost the M10 as well. This did not go as I expected it would. And he's not penetrating. The guy is side on to us. And now we've lost sight of him. And of course, the T1 Heavy is not even helping. And he won't help because he's a bot. And that's the 2-minute warning. Well, in one sense, it's a good news because it's a 2-minute warning. It's unlikely that the enemy Arty is going to get to the cap in time. But I think the best thing for Mike to do now would be to actually get to a position where he can get shots on the OI if he spots him. Remember, he's got a view range of 390 meters, which means that Mike would be able to see the OI Experimental probably before the OI Experimental sees him. But he does need to be near cover so he can get into cover. And there's the OI. He doesn't want to get spotted. He has been spotted. He's gone to the aim. Oh, and he's taken around from the OI. If he dies, you see, then the other side will win. And we now know where the PP is. And he's over on the other side. Oh, dear. I'm afraid that means now this game is going to be a loss because they will kill that T1 Heavy. Even though the enemy OI was spotted and killed by the T1 Heavy, the enemy Fifi will know where the T1 is and he should be able to get spotted on that guy. Sadly, I think it was because Mike wasn't in the cap area, and that looked like that was a heat round. aimed at the T1, and that was also, so I'm afraid it is a loss. Well, despite the fact that it was a loss, it was still a third-class tanker for Mike 1963_1 in the FIFI. He did get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills, and he got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in the game. And his win rate was 5,424, which is more than Super Unicum standard. But sadly, yeah, I'm afraid it was a loss. He was getting some great hits on the enemy, and if this had been a win, I think he might have scored a lot higher, but sadly, it didn't work out in the end. The OI did exactly what I expected him to do, to come to the railway crossing and try and get across, but Mike wasn't fully dialed in on target, and even after his teammates were killed, he actually went north straight away instead of actually heading into the bushes. If he'd head to the west and actually gone into the bushes there into cover, then he might have been safe from that the enemy OI, because the OI was actually spotting for him, and once he actually started engaging the OI, so did the T1 Heavy. And the T1 Heavy did get the kill on the guy, but unfortunately when the T1 fired, the enemy FIFI knew where he was as well, and it was only a simple job for the enemy FIFI, who was in cover at the time, to then pick the guy off using his heat rounds. And it definitely appeared to be heat rounds that were hitting the guy. No explosions as the shells went in. So yeah, those heat rounds, they really do work sometimes if you have the right target and if they're facing the right way. But it was a good game by Mike. He did get some great hits in the game. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, the highest damage in the game actually went to the enemy FIFI with 1,965. He actually picked up a high caliber and a defender medal in that game. The second highest damage went to Mike. He got 1,906. And the third highest damage went to the OI experimental on the enemy team with 1,878. When it came to kills, it was the enemy FIFI got 5 kills. 4 kills went to the OI experimental on the enemy team, to Mike, and also to the M10 RBFM. And then 2 kills to the Panzer von Vier and the M8A1 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, it's the enemy FIFI who came out on top with 1,008. 917 went to the OI experimental, 895 went to the Panzer von Vier, and Mike got 550. I think that would have been a lot higher if he'd been in the bushes. I think if he could have stopped on the other side of the ridgeline and shot over the ridgeline into the enemy, then the enemy FIFI wouldn't have had a clue where he was. But he still would have been spotting the OI if the OI came forward, because the T1 Heavy would see where he was and he could lay the shots down onto him. But that's, you know, what might have happened under the circumstances. I'd say never go forward if you haven't got good cover to protect you when the enemy spots you. 44 shots fired, 18 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrations. Let's have a look and see which ones he penetrated. Well, I think he penetrated the M8A1 at least once. Yep, he got that guy. And the BT7? No, actually, surprisingly, it wasn't the BT7. It was the Leopard that he penetrated. And that was the one that he got the blind kill on as well. So it may have been that shot that got the blind kill was the penetrating shot. He also got 22 splashes, 1,906 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits. 2 of those were penetrations, 1 a hit by splash. That was the enemy FIFI firing into him as well. And yeah, unfortunately, he did get wiped out. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, 139 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 37,712 credits, got 13,576 from holiday ops. That was for the battle, by the way. 51,288 credits altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 33,097 credits profit. 825 XP, 330 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 1,155 experience points altogether. He did get some great shots in that game, you can't deny that. But this is not a one replay video. We've got 2 replays featuring the FIFI. So let's have a look at the second one. The second replay is on the Malinovka map, and it's showing Sunshine Billy in his VP on the Australian and New Zealand server. And that's why there's bots. Yes, I'm afraid the Australians and New Zealand have to put up with a lot of bots on their server, but I think we did see some bots in the game with Mike. Oh, and he's just been shot at by his own Arty, the SU-122A. No reason for him to do that, but he splattered him on the side, and we can see that Sunshine Billy is now getting ready to shoot at the enemy. It's a reduced numbers game, as far as I can see. It's only 14 either side. And the SU-122 has decided to come up and sit right next door to Sunshine Billy. Now, it's not a very good thing to do. It's why Sunshine Billy is obviously moving away from this guy, because if you have two Arties sitting next to each other, they're much easier to spot. The tracers almost merge, and not merge, but they certainly draw attention. So that's where you can get a counter battery and the bombardier at the same time. So it's not a good idea, and he's decided to do the nice thing and relocate rather than ask the other guy to go away. I know in the past I certainly would have just told the guy, go away, you're not wanted here. You know, find your own position, don't use mine. And unfortunately that SU-122A has just come and sat alongside Sunshine Billy yet again. He's sitting right alongside us. Can't see this at the moment, but I can see it on the mini-map. Okay, he's going to go for the Type T95, Type 95, yes, the Japanese heavy tank with no armour. Rounds out. Just went north of it. It's not helpful that this guy's doing it, because he's just going to make sure that both players get wiped out quicker if the enemy spots where the tracer's coming from. Okay, we're going for the SU-85. Line the shots up. Looks good. Rounds out. Looks an excellent shot. It was right on the money. 165 hit points. But we lost sight of the SU-85 just after the shell landed. Okay, Cavalier should be better on that one. Direct hit. 173 off that one. Okay, these guys are staying still for the shot. And yes, Sunshine Billy is getting shot after shot on target. That was a little late, I think. Yeah, he did fire the heat round, because these guys, he's hitting the sides of them, and that's why he's going through the sides. Oh, he was robbed there. I'd ask for a refund off that one. That one, it should have penetrated. Okay, well, he's only got 2 rounds of arm piercing now, but he's also got 39 rounds of HE, and they will make a nice big bang. Going for the SU-85, the guy who hit before, who the moment they get the warning that the shell's coming in, they back up and they move elsewhere and manage to avoid the shell. That one didn't avoid it. He drove straight into it. We can see that the SU-85 though has moved forward. I think he's gone forward to that bush. Meanwhile, the KV-1SA is making for the second level to go after our Panzer IV Ausführung H. And in fact, the enemy Arty is firing in that direction as well. Oh, good hit! 169. We're going to try and line up a shot on the SU-85. You'll need a little bit of lead. Change direction after we knew that shell was on its way. Okay, direct hit. Yes! 144. Keep pumping those rounds in. This should hit. It is, yes, 73. Go back to the KV-1A SA because he pulled back. And again, another hit, 107. You can see the SU-122A is having no effect whatsoever. Shells are missing the target, so he's obviously a novice when it comes to Arty. But Sunshine Billy is not a novice, and he's getting direct hits. He's going to fire blind on that one, and he gets a direct hit and kills the T1 Heavy. Now he's moving up to the SU-85. He didn't get a chance to mark the ground where he thought the SU-85 was, and there's nobody up there to spot for us now, so he needs to either wait for somebody to move up there. There you go, you can see that SU-122 came straight back to alongside him. It might be that the SU-122A driver doesn't know how to play Arty, and he thought that by being alongside Sunshine Billy, he would actually get some instruction about how to do it. He could be a tank player, and that's why he fired on Sunshine Billy, because he thought, oh, he's an Arty expert. Well, he would have determined that from the markings on Sunshine Billy's vehicle. A direct hit. I think it's being very obvious now to that SU-122A player. Oh, another direct hit! That he picked the right player to be alongside, but unfortunately it's not a good thing to do. And we've just been hit by the KD-1SA, because we got spotted there. In fact, I think that he's firing at the SU-122. Yes, they saw the tracer for the SU-122, and that enabled the enemy to get shots on him. Now, I wonder if they'll stop firing now he's gone out of the way. The enemy are getting rather close, but some of the ones who are getting close are bots. Okay, keep switching to close view. Keep pulling it back so we can actually see what's going on. Oh, another kill! But he did get spotted, so he needs to move. Unfortunately, this thing doesn't reverse very well. The Cavalier just got a direct hit. But luckily, the enemy Arty hit the SU-122 wreck. Yeah, it doesn't reverse very quick. It's only 10 kilometers an hour maximum speed in reverse. So the best way to handle that is actually to turn around and move. I would turn around or move forward and turn at the same time, because it's far quicker forward than it is in reverse. 28 kilometers an hour going forward. So he's going for the Type 95. And it's a kill shot! That's 3 kills now. Arty coming in again. And that was a Fifi round. I can identify that from the speed at which it came in and the splash it made. P2640. Okay, let it settle. Good. Oh, right into the turret. And he didn't like that, so he's moving. Trying to get away. Sunshine Billy fires another one in. Tracks him. Wait for him to move up a bit more. He stopped. He thinks he's safe there. No, you're not safe. That's a kill shot. That's his 4th. Okay, now he's looking at the cap area. Now the idea here is to play spot the enemy in the bush. And of course, there's a famous Monty Python sketch about that. Yes. I ought to put a link in the video to the Monty Python sketch, The Art of Not Being Seen. Yeah, don't go to the bush. Everybody goes to the bush. Ooh, that hurt. The Wolverine's still coming on. It's a real player. He's going straight now. Oh, close range, and that's a Top Gun, but he did get spotted, and that means now the enemy's firing at him, so he needs to move. Unfortunately, he took a round from the enemy, and he's out the game with a Top Gun. Sadly, it was the Cavalier who got the kill shot, I think. We've only got one left on our team. It's an A25 Harry Hopkins, the new tank that's just come into the game. Bit like a I was trying to think which tank it's like. It's one of the tanks that's actually existing in the game already. I'm trying to remember which one it is. It'll come back to me. Tetrak, that's it, the Tetrak. looks like the Tetrak hull. Now, I don't know much about this tank, but it looks to me like a 2-pounder gun. In which case it's probably capable of doing about 55 alpha and will penetrate a lot of armour. He's decided to ignore the cap, mainly because the enemy's ignoring it at the moment. And if he can actually find some of the enemy tanks, he might be able to take them out, even the score. We know the Bishop was seen north of the lake, but I think he wants to get the enemy Fifi, and they've started capping again. I think I would have gone north of the lake to actually get that Bishop and then head towards the cap area. But I suppose he's actually taking the attitude that if more than one of them got into the cap at the same time, he might have difficulty. And in fact, they have put 3 in the cap now, so they've decided they are going to win the game here and now. So he has to get back. Now, aim for the bushes. If you can't actually see them, aim for the bushes. But I think he'll probably see them. He's using the bush mechanic. First shot didn't work, but he gets the Cavalier. And he can finish off the Cavalier. He does. Now, aim for the bushes. If you can't see them, they must be in the bushes. No, he's left it too late. And that's it, game over. Well, just like in Mike's game, Sunshine Billy actually got defeated, but that's because he was taking on so many enemies all at once at the same time, and he really didn't have any team left to help him other than that Harry Hopkins, and he was well far away at the time. It was an ace tanker game for Sunshine Billy and the Fifi. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 20. That's a massive score. He also got a Gauss medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle, a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. That last kill was his 6th one, the Wolverine, and his win 8 was 13,732, which is Super Unicum standard and a lot more. That's because he just kept blasting away to try and get as many of the enemy as he could. Even with the handicap of that SU-122A effectively telling everyone where they were. And that was a really bad move by that player, but maybe that guy was just a bit of a noob and just didn't know how to play the game properly. And in those certain circumstances, it's usually better for the player, in the expert player rather, to indicate where what Arty Noobs is. Even the Facebook page or the YouTube channel, so that we can explain to him how he plays it and how he gets it right. But never sit yourself down right next door to one of your teammates, because if you do, you're much more likely to get counter-batteried, just as he was. So 3,217 hit points was the high caliber for Sunshine Billy. He also, the next highest scorer was the KV-1SA on the enemy team with 2003, and then it was the M5A1 Stewart with 821. When it came to kills, again he's got the highest with 6. 2 kills went to, well, that mystery player, and all of these players as well, the KV-1SA, the M5A1 Stewart, the Wolverine, the T1 Heavy, and when it came to base XP, well, he didn't get that. He missed out on that one because the KV-1SA managed to get 942 and Sunshine Billy got 886. So he got 2 out of 3 in that one on the columns. And the next highest score after that was the T1 Heavy with 611. He fired 39 shots in the game, 24 direct hits on the enemy and 3 penetrations, 25 splash. Now, can we guess which ones he penetrated? More than likely the M8A1. No, I'm wrong. Did he penetrate this guy? Yes, he did penetrate the P2640. One of his shots actually did go straight through him. He didn't penetrate the Wolverine. That's surprising. He did penetrate the Type 95. Yes, that's a very thin-skinned heavy tank. So more than likely he would, and he did penetrate the bishop when he found him. That was a blind shot, I seem to recall, over the top of the hill into the chaser that was coming out from that direction. And yes, he penetrated the bishop, and I think that was it. I think that was all the penetrating shots. 25 splashes, damage of 3,217, of which 2,768 were at more than 300 meters. So you could see a lot of damage was being done at fairly close range. Well, 500 hit points odd of damage at close range, but those guys were getting very close, and the only reason they were allowed to get close was because his teammate folded around him. He just didn't have anybody supporting him. 7 hits received, 4 of them were penetrations, 3 non-penetrations, and 1 hit by way of splash damage as well from the enemy Arty. 180 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 10 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, 602 hit points of damage assistance, and he managed to get 40 defense points by resetting the cap when he killed the M8A1 who was sitting in there. Yes, he went to the bush and he shouldn't have gone there. 65,996 credits for the battle, 24,504 for completing holiday ops, and 6,075 for courageous resistance because he got all those awards, most of them Battle Hero awards, the high caliber and the Top Gun, and 96,575 credits altogether. After repair and ammunition resupply, he took away 82,648 credits profit, which is a good profit. 55 bonds for a mission achievement, and 1,329 XP for the battle, 733 for courageous resistance, and 825 for this being a premium vehicle. Took away 2,887 experience points altogether. So it just goes to show, even in a losing game, you can get an ace tanker if you play well enough. And well, certainly Sunshine Billy was doing his best, but unfortunately his team and certainly his fellow Arty wasn't particularly helpful. And that's why this one ended up a defeat. I mean, there's only so much an Arty can do, but once you're actually being surrounded by the enemy and you're just blasting away, sooner or later one of them's going to get a kill shot on you and you're going to be out the game. But nice play by Sunshine Billy and also by Mike1963_1. Pity that his game also ended up in a loss, but I think actually Mike, so long as you stay hidden from the enemy, they can't get you, and it would have ended up as a draw, or at least at the very least you could have maybe found the enemy Arty on the west side of the map and been able to deal with him. If you enjoyed those replays, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.